No matter if you're a singer, songwriter, a beat maker, a metalhead, or an upcoming composer of instant world music, or just an old guy with a head who has been living under a rock for too long and finally want to make music on a computer. Welcome to the ground noise and 5 most common misconceptions when it comes to producing music at home on a personal computer. We're gonna clear up all ideas, get them out of the system, and also talk about price tags and special skills you will need, or better said, not need. We start right away with the first misconception by closing our eyes and imagining a professional studio with all the things that belong to it. First that comes to mind is a very impressive mixing console surrounded by not one, but at least 2 effect racks and of course a big tape machine. Cabinets with tons of equipment also appear in our imagination, some musical instruments as well as the most important thing, a cozy sofa and snacks. What if I tell you that this idea of a studio is pretty outdated? So it's time to open our eyes again and look at this digital audio workstation. Such a DAW contains every part of that pro studio you just pictured. I mean, really everything. Well, except the sofa and snacks. I want to keep this video straightforward without going too much into detail, but if you want to learn more about how such a DAW actually works, then it's time to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment if you have any questions. Now let's go on with the second misconception, the weird computer music assumption. You know, almost every time I meet somebody that I haven't seen in a while, the conversation goes like this. Hey, long time no see, are you still making music? Yes, for sure, thanks for asking. And what you're doing, are you in a band or? Oh no, I'm on my own, working with the computer and... Ah, with the computer, I get it. But... Can you relate? Somehow many people, especially people of my generation, seem to think that making music on a computer is kind of fake, not the real thing. As a musician, you gotta get that idea out of your head as soon as you can. Because the truth is, you still have to write the music, play all the instruments, record the parts, mix it down. The PC is doing nothing on its own. Well, this can be a downer for some of you who thought that pushing a button would be enough to create a hit single. And I will definitely talk about some downsides of home studios later in the video. But for now, just think of a DAW as a very, very powerful recording device that replaced tape machines, 4-track cassette recorders, ADATs and whatnot a long time ago. I see you need a moment to process all of this. The next big misconception is that you need a special computer, like one from that fancy smartphone manufacturer with the beautiful round cases. That's not true. Any PC will do, believe it or not, as long as it isn't a potato toaster from like 15 years ago. You need a modern CPU, a good amount of RAM memory on a stable system, and a fast hard disk doesn't hurt as well. If you keep it real, you don't need to spend thousands of bucks. Which leads me to misconception number 4, the expensive hobby. Well, it depends on your needs, obviously. I don't know what you're going for, but I know that there's tons of free software out there, including free DAWs. Just install something and see if it works for you or what it takes to make it work. I always recommend working with the things you already have and see how far you can get with it. You also don't have to be a computer expert. Okay. If your only skill is wiping on your smartphone all day, then you might want to realize that this isn't quite a skill. It's more like clicking the TV remote. And maybe it's a good idea to become a little more serious. I'm talking about working with a desktop PC, installing programs, managing folders, save as, print preview, such basic stuff. And while a DAW is a very complex program, there is absolutely no need to learn each and every function right on the start. Start, stop, record, loop and click is pretty much all you need in the beginning. After that, go as far as you want, but one step at a time, easy. I promise to talk about the downsides as well, but first let me sum everything up. You don't need to go to a professional studio, instead make your home the best studio ever. The PC is only a very powerful recording device. It's still you who makes the music. You don't need a special machine, but an up-to-date computer would be cool. It doesn't have to be expensive, but after all, that depends on your needs. And you don't need to be a computer nerd. Smartphone vibing won't be enough though. So what are the downsides of a typical bedroom studio? Well, there aren't many, as long as you keep it simple. Meaning you are a one-person project like me, a singer-songwriter duo, or you're doing an online collab with sending files back and forth. All of that shouldn't be a problem. Because you don't need much external equipment, maybe a MIDI keyboard and an audio interface to connect your guitar and microphone with the PC. But if you want to record a live drum kit or even a band playing together, your audio interface needs more inputs and your computer needs to be more beefy. Maybe you also want to turn your shabby rehearsal room into a nice recording room, and in that case, don't forget the sofa and snacks. Now look, the history is full of great albums that literally were recorded in a hallway or some staircase with crappy microphones and noisy electronics. Just take it easy and record your acoustic guitar in the kitchen, percussion in the bathroom and a singer in the bedroom. There's nothing wrong with it. Just start, do it your way and see how it turns out. So there really isn't much to worry about, and I hope I could encourage you to finally boot up your computer and start producing, or at least to change your mind a little. Let me know how you're doing in the comments, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate it very much and hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.